This was filmed in broad daylight, in a place where nothing unusual ever happens. The person holding the camera wasn't searching for anything, just recording the sky out of habit. At first, it looked like a bird crossing the frame. Wings, distance, normal movement. Then, it didn't move like a bird anymore.
Urban wire silhouette. It's late afternoon in a quiet neighborhood, the kind of street where nothing really happens. Someone notices a shape on the electrical wires and starts recording without thinking much of it. From far away, it looks normal. Just a bird resting above traffic. When the camera slowly zooms in, the details begin to settle differently. The beak is long and curved. The feathers look dark, almost bristled. Its claws wrapped tightly around the cable, steady, deliberate. It doesn't shift. It doesn't call. Cars pass underneath, and it never reacts. Neighbors later say they've never seen anything like it there before. It just stays above the street, watching, as if it belongs somewhere else entirely. Dry trough visitor. Out at San Alejo, the cattle trough keeps losing water overnight. No cracks in the concrete, no mud around it. Just a steady drop no one can explain. One of the ranch hands decides to stay back and watch. By morning, something is already there. At first, it's just a shape leaning over the edge. Then it straightens. Wings, but not feathers. The skin looks stretched and veined, almost translucent in the light. A curved beak catches the sun. What unsettles them most are the eyes. Human, focused. It drinks without sound. When someone starts filming, it slowly turns its head, calm, aware. The air feels heavier. The water lowers again. Then it walks away, unhurried. Flame in the Oak campers call it in as a fire. They say something is burning high in a tree. Firefighters arrive, expecting spreading flames, smoke moving through brush. Instead, they find a single oak with its crown darkened, like it has already burned. At the top branch, there's a shape. It looks like a large bird standing upright. The body appears covered in flames, but the fire doesn't spread. It clings to it. No sound, no struggle. One firefighter records from below. When the figure slowly opens its wings, the wood cracks sharply. A sudden burst of orange light follows. No heat reaches the ground. No embers fall. In the last frames, the branch is empty. Only smoke drifts upward. The report says it wasn't burning. It was beginning. Membrane wings at sunset. Near Sunset in Boone County, two explorers stop at an abandoned farm just to look around. It's quiet in a way that feels heavier than normal. No wind through the grass, no birds overhead. One of them starts filming, mostly as a joke. At first, something along the roofline looks like loose sheet metal lifting. Then it straightens. A thin figure balances on the rusted ridge, legs bent, torso angled forward. Behind it, wide membrane wings rise slowly, catching the last light. They don't flap. They flex once. Car alarms sound somewhere down the road, then stop at the same time. The figure leans forward and lifts straight up. Shadow before, landing out in the Nevada desert, near an old metal barn miles from town. Two workers walk out to inspect what their drone marked as possible damage. The heat sits heavy over the ground. No wind, just open sky. One of them notices a shadow first. It moves across the cracked dirt before anything is visible above. Then something begins to descend. A tall, thin figure hovers over the roof. Wide amber wings, almost translucent in the sun. The joints bend at angles that don't look right. The metal panels start to vibrate softly. Their phones lose signal without warning. It doesn't cry out. It doesn't land. It folds slightly and shoots straight upward into the glare. Later, paused on one frame, they see something they hadn't noticed before. Dawn over the coop. Just after sunrise in Norfolk, the farm cameras are still running, like they always do. Usually it's only pale light and the sound of restless hens. That morning, something is already on the roof. At first, it looks like debris hunched over the metal sheets. Then it shifts. A thin humanoid shape crouches low, wings folded awkwardly along its back. The feathers seem uneven, almost damaged. Long fingers curl over the corrugated metal for balance. Below, the chickens begin to scatter, slamming against the sides of the coop in panic. The figure doesn't rush. It leans down slowly, pressing its weight into the roof. A low vibration hums through the structure. Later, several hens are missing. Spiral in the field. Before sunrise near Passau, a farm drone flags a heat anomaly in the eastern wheat. A small crew heads out expecting a patch of fire or machinery left running. The air is damp, fog sitting low over the rows. From a distance, they see the pattern first. The wheat lies flattened in a clean spiral. In the center, something stands. Tall, over 3 meters. By their estimate, its body looks dry, almost fossil-like in texture. The wings move slowly, back and forth, without making a sound. A long neck angles downward. In the fog, the eyes reflect red. No one steps closer. They just record. The wheat around it seems pressed outward, not scorched. When the first sunlight reaches the center, the ground hums faintly. Then the spiral is empty. Suspended over Route 47. It comes in as a strange call along Route 47 in Monroe County. Someone reports a giant dog hanging between the trees. When officers arrive, traffic is already slowing. It's there, a few inches above the asphalt, just off the shoulder. The body looks canine, muscles tight, like it's ready to run. But it isn't touching the ground. Black membranous wings stretch out wider than the patrol car. They don't beat the air. They just hold. Flashlights catch its face. Yellow eyes reflect back without blinking. No growl. No movement. One officer tries to record. The phone shuts off immediately. For several seconds, it stays suspended, completely still, as engines idle on both sides of the road. Then it rises straight up into the trees without flapping. Figure on the dirt road. This happens outside Nazas, after the fair lets out and the roads go quiet again. A group of young men are heading home when something blocks the dirt path ahead. At first, it looks like a large dog, standing in the dust. Then it shifts. They stop. Phones come out. The figure rises onto 2 legs, taller than any of them. The body looks muscular, coated in dusty fur, but the arms are thinner, almost bird-like. Dark wings begin to open, red visible along the inside. The movement makes a dry cracking sound. The face doesn't resemble anything they recognize. It turns toward them. The air feels heavier. Without running or jumping, it lifts straight up and disappears into the night. Wind farm silence. This is reported out at the Huron Plains wind field in Kansas after someone calls in saying something large hit a turbine. When responders arrive, one of the towers is already down. A blade lies, twisted near the roadside. Resting on it is a massive bird-like figure, easily over 3 meters tall. Gray plumage, thick and heavy. Wings stretched wide across the fallen metal. The beak is curved, dark, not matching any local species. What stands out is the silence. The other turbines have stopped turning. Engines on the trucks keep running, but GPS units freeze in place. An officer sends up a drone. The creature opens its wings fully and releases a low sound. The monitors glitch. The ground vibrates faintly. It doesn't move toward anyone. It just rises straight into the clouds. Still on the branch. This is filmed in broad daylight somewhere rural. Blue sky clear behind the tree. At first glance, it looks like a large bird perched high on a branch. The wings are extended wide, steady in the light. But the longer the camera holds, the less familiar it seems. The body sits unusually upright. The chest looks smooth, almost human in shape. The eyes face forward instead of to the side. The beak curves down sharply, but the proportions don't line up with anything common. Its talons grip the branch tightly. No shifting, no balancing movement. It doesn't flap. It doesn't call. It just keeps its wings open, staring straight ahead, as if it knows it's being filmed. Fallen wing at dawn. This is recorded early in the morning, out in an open rural field. Patrol vehicles sit behind a fence line, while several officers and responders stand around something in the grass. From a distance, it looks like part of a collapsed aircraft wing. Up close, it isn't metal. It's feathered, dark, and layered, spread wide across the dry ground, far larger than any bird people there can name. The body attached to it looks elongated, heavy through the torso, almost serpentine in shape. Some kneel nearby, measuring. Others keep a few steps back. No one rushes. No one jokes. The wings remain fully extended, even on the ground, as if frozen mid-flight. Whatever it was, it didn't seem small when it was in the sky. Figure on the streetlight. This is filmed at night along a quiet road where a few drivers have already stopped. They say something was hovering low above the asphalt before drifting upward. By the time the recording begins, it's already perched on top of a streetlight. From below, the shape looks like an elderly woman. Thin, slightly hunched. Long pale hair hangs forward, shifting subtly, even though the air seems still. The clothing appears torn and layered, falling unevenly around the legs. It holds a long pole or staff across its body. The orange streetlight casts an upward glow, lighting the face from underneath. No one steps out of their cars. They just film through windshields. It stays there, balanced, completely unmoving. Glide over the valley. This is recorded in a dark valley at night, after someone notices movement just above the tree line. The camera tilts up without much thought. At first, it looks like a large bird gliding across the sky. The wings open wide, almost perfectly symmetrical, holding steady without visible strain. There's barely any flapping. It just moves forward. For a brief second, two small red points appear where a face might be. They blink once, then fade back into shadow. The body hangs lower than expected, almost vertical beneath the wings. The proportions don't sit right. Some later suggest a drone or misidentified wildlife. But it doesn't move like either. It drifts in a straight line and slowly dissolves into the darkness. Face in the tree. This is filmed at night in a rural town after neighbors say something rose into a tree without climbing it. By the time the camera finds it, the figure is already perched on a branch. From a distance, it looks like an owl. Rounded body, patterned feathers, wings tucked in close, but the face doesn't fit. It's flatter than expected, pale, almost human in its structure. The eyes sit forward and small, fixed on the light. It doesn't blink. It doesn't shift away. The branch beneath it bends slightly, moss pressed down under its weight. The person filming stays several steps back. No sound comes from it. It just remains there in the dark. Figure by the forest. A couple records from the window of their house, on the edge of a quiet forest. They weren't looking for anything. They just heard something in the trees and pointed the phone into the darkness. At first, it looks like a tall, motionless shadow among the trunks. Then the shape becomes clear. An anthropomorphic figure, upright, with wings spread on both sides. They don't flap. They just stay open, marking a wide silhouette against the night. The eyes reflect the light with an intense glow. The creature doesn't advance or retreat. It just watches. Witnesses later claim it is the dreaded Mothman. In the video, the figure is still there, quiet, as if it knew exactly where the house is. Mist over the rocks. The camera is already aimed at the sea, just waves breaking against dark stones along the Japanese coast. Nothing unusual. Wind mist, the usual gray horizon. Then, something on a large shoreline rock comes into focus. At first, it's only a blurred mass against the fog. Then, the shape clarifies. A massive figure stands upright, completely still. Slowly, the wings begin to unfold. Long, angular, almost skeletal in outline. The proportions don't match any common seabird from the area. The body seems heavier, older somehow. It doesn't panic into flight. It leans forward and pushes off the rock with weight. Backyard at dusk. This happens in a residential garden outside New Haven. Just as the light starts to fade, the Kingsley family had been hearing noises behind the shed for days. They thought raccoons. That evening, it sounds different. When they step outside, neighbors are already there, phones raised. No one is talking. By the wooden fence, something crouches low, shaking slightly. Gray feathers cover its body. The wings look wrong, bent like extended human arms. Thin legs struggle to hold it upright. Its neck contracts sharply as it breathes. The face is flat, almost human. The eyes move without focus. Someone nudges it with a stick. The scream that follows doesn't sound animal. Several phones freeze mid-recording. The sky shifts orange for a moment. Then the figure straightens slightly and collapses into pale dust. After the storm, this happens in the Willow Creek Plains, not long after a storm rolls through Madison County. The sky is still heavy. The air feels charged. A few farmers head out after several drones lose signal over the same patch of pasture. About 400 meters from the road, they see the grass pressed flat. In the center lies something breathing. Black feathers soaked through. Reddish skin visible beneath. The body looks uneven, disproportionate. Wings, or something like them, dragged and bent at the sides. The head has a human shape. The eyes are fully black, round, unblinking. No one steps closer. When it lifts itself slightly, using the folded wings like arms, it releases a sharp metallic shriek. Phones glitch. Screens fill with static. 20 minutes later, it's gone. Perched above the valley. This was filmed from a distance, high in the mountains, where the trees grow thin and wind usually moves the branches. At first glance, it looks like a large bird resting on a horizontal limb, but the posture feels wrong. The body sits too upright. The torso looks heavier than expected for any bird that size. What should be wings hang down like long, dark fabric, almost like folded cloaks. The head doesn't tilt the way raptors usually do. It faces forward. The branch barely bends under its weight. The person filming zooms in slowly. The shape doesn't react. No feather ruffling. No balance adjustment. It just stays there, still against the misty forest backdrop. From far away, it could pass as a bird. Up close, it doesn't quite fit.